I appreciate the opportunity to appear today. Again, my name is Oscar Thorslin. I have an MS degree in zoology from Clemson University. I am currently supervising student teachers at Southern Wesleyan University. I want to get right down to the basic issue of the biological sciences, and that's the origin of life. There are only two options. Either it was spontaneous generation, or it was intelligent design. There was a designer. There's not any third issue. There's not a third position. I want to read what the Glencoe 2002 edition, it's a biology book, The Dynamics of Life, that's used in South Carolina. Many school districts use it. When you go to the section on origins, page 377, this is what is said. By about 3.9 billion years ago, Earth might have cooled enough for water in its atmosphere to condense. This might have led to millions of years of rainstorms with lightning, enough to fill the Earth's oceans. It is in the oceans, probably between 3.9 and 3.5 billion years ago, some scientists proposed that the first organisms appeared. Then we go on further to page 389. How did life begin on Earth? No one will know for certain how life ever began on Earth. You know, when you, spontaneous generation over 100 years ago has been disproved. Louis Pasteur disproved spontaneous generation. Yet we still, that has to be the foundational point for Darwinian evolution. I want to just read George Wald. He was the Harvard University professor, Nobel Prize winner, and this is what he says. The reasonable view was to believe in spontaneous generation. The only alternative to believe was a primary act of supernatural creation. There is no third position. One has only to contemplate the magnitude of this test to concede that spontaneous generation of a living organism is impossible. Yet here we are as a result, I believe, of spontaneous generation. Now is that science?
Time's up, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Skipper, Horace Skipper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
With regards to the textbook by Drs. Mill and Levine, it is easy to demonstrate the disagreement among modern Darwinian evolutionists regarding the term evolution. However, some key elements in the definition are simple organisms are transformed to complex organisms as called for in the Darwinian tree of life. The challenge for these authors is to present indisputable evidence for the Darwinian theory of evolution, and the textbook under review fails to provide the necessary evidence. Science deals with phenomena that are observable, measurable, and repeatable, and statements that are testable. The term change over time includes the idea about variation by natural selection and also variation within species. However, this does not provide a mechanism for the generation of the vast amounts of new genetic information required for phylogenetic change, such as the transition from a primitive mammal into dogs and cats, or from a microorganism to a donkey. Darwin and subsequent authors have failed to recognize the contribution of others who published theories of evolution. Wallace sent a copy of his paper to Darwin for review and prior to the publication of Darwin's Origin of Species. One wonders if it should be called the Wallace theory of evolution. The text in question glosses over this important part of scientific history and does our students a disservice in giving them a myopic view of one of the most influential theories in world history. 30 seconds. Herbert Spencer also coined the term survival of the fittest in 1852 that Darwin and others have failed to recognize. Stephen Jay Gould, a leading spokesman for evolution, often recognized and stated that the fossil record did not support the Darwinian theory of evolution. We've also had frauds in our textbooks, and that's a trade secret of the paleontologists and the curators of museums.
That will be your time, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. David K. Mack.
Good morning. My name is David Camack. First things first, I'd like to say I am a biology major and a Christian. And I'm here today as a student interested in evolutionary biology, but also representing all students of biological sciences in South Carolina. I must say that the state of South Carolina has never disappointed me this much until now. As a college student who graduated from a public high school and used co-author Ken Miller's biology textbook, I'm proud to say that I received a strong biology education. But suggesting that Dr. Miller's textbook fails to meet the South Carolina standards for biology based on chosen reviewers who obviously have the same thoughts on evolution is both unwise and rather unfair. It is important for students to receive a strong educational background in biology, which includes understanding the theory of evolution. Dr. Ken Miller is a brilliant man, and he clearly presents information on evolution, natural selection, and even Charles Darwin that is necessary for a student with a biological science interest to properly prepare for a college-level biology course. I would also like to address my objections to the reviewer's comments, particularly the comment about on page 380. The reviewer's comment that high school students should be aware that thoughts and thought processes and actions have serious consequences really disturbs me. It seems to contradict what I always believed to be the point of an education, that is, to learn and think for oneself. It seems to me that this reviewer does not want students to think at all as if it were a bad thing. Although it is ironic that actions that have serious consequences could be applied here. If South Carolina takes action to withdraw Ken Miller's textbook from the classroom,
30 seconds.
then they might have to face the serious consequence of jeopardizing a complete biology education of students whose future is the collegiate and scientific world. Thank you.
At this point, William Peterman.